Is the hot weather keeping you from making the right decisions with your horse? So I have a personal story. I live in Italy and we have been experiencing very high temperatures, as in many other parts of the world. So I have been keeping the training sessions with the horses very light and very simple. But nevertheless, I have been continuing with the sessions, the training sessions, or the exercise sessions. So a few days ago, I was lunging a horse, and as I said, we were just keeping things very simple, doing a bit of work on transitioning between trot, walk, trot, canter, doing some straight lines, some circles, a bit of lengthening of the neck, very simple things. And I then decided that I would like to add in a few jumps, very simple jumps, very low jumps, also because he does suffer from arthritis, so the horse that I was working with. But I do occasionally add in some jumps just because it's a really nice way for him to get a full lengthening of his spine. So I did that. I prepared a little barrier and I decided to do maybe 4 jumps, 2 on one hand and 2 on the other. And we were getting to the very last jump. And as he approached the barrier, he then stopped right before the barrier and refused to jump. But I had it in my mind that I wanted to complete these 4 jumps. So I said, well, let's just give it one more go. And so very calmly, I just brought him back into trot and then into canter. And then I had him do the last jump. And as he was jumping, he hit the barrier with his front hooves and kind of moved the barrier forward, which made him lose balance. And he tripped, so to speak. He kind of tripped, he lost his balance, and then he tripped on the barrier. Now, fortunately, nothing happened, but it was a close call because he was about to fall and possibly even hurt himself. So I felt quite bad about that, actually, because I really pride myself on listening to the horse and understanding if the horse that I'm working with is able to respond to a certain request. And I really had, there was a moment when he decided to not jump. There was a moment where I thought, you know, I should just honor this. I should just honor his decision to not jump. There must be a good reason for it. And so that was actually my initial response. But then I overrode that inner, let's say, intuition or signal, and I decided to give it another try. Now, had I listened to him, none of this would have happened because I would have honored his decision to not jump. And I was thinking about how important it is to listen to your horse. And listening in itself, the act of listening is, or the very act of listening is the decision to be attentive or to pay attention to and to be open to your horse in this case. And so that made me think about how heat affects us and affects our ability to decide. So heat is very sneaky in a way because it can subtly affect our physical and mental, or our physical bodies and mental states in a way that we may not really be aware of. And this is the same with our horse. So when horses are hot, there might be some subtle changes in their breath, in their breathing, which may be a little bit more labored. Or there may be a shift in their energy levels, just because the body is trying to find balance again, and trying to cool the body down. And so the horse might have to, might be sweating more, and just the fact, or just the fact of sweating more can create some electrolyte imbalances in the horse and just create a general state of fatigue in the horse. And not only this, but the heat causes stress in the body, and stress raises cortisol levels. So really, when we are in high temperatures, the heat can create hormonal imbalances within our bodies, like raising or increasing the levels of cortisol. So, and all of these different changes may not really be visible to us as we are watching the horse. And they also may not really be visible to our own selves. And I have noticed this week, for instance, that I have not been as clear as usual in my mind. So it's been very difficult for me to kind of complete even the smallest action. I just feel a little bit more disoriented and disorganized, and just having a difficult time with my regular schedule, just kind of keeping things organized as usual. And obviously this must be the same for our horses. So because listening, or the act of listening, is the decision to be receptive to another being, or to another person in general, or another animal. The idea that heat can have such a profound effect on our decision-making capabilities, I think this is something that we need to pay more attention to. So even though we may think we are strong, or we may think our horses are strong, in reality, we are very delicate beings. And we are susceptible to imbalances that are created by external factors, such as extreme heat. So the next time you are with your horse and the weather is very hot, I invite you to really get in tune with how you are feeling in the heat and how your horse is reacting to the heat. And possibly in such a situation, the best decision is to not do anything at all.